Have you ever wondered about a plant that has been used to build empires, yet is outlawed in the very same lands? A plant that has benefited humanity in so many ways, yet caused countless prosecutions in developed nations. Cannabis has a story like that. It is a story full of contradictions. For thousands of years, humans have cultivated this plant. They used its strong fibers to make ropes for their ships and sails to catch the wind. They used its seeds for food and its flowers for medicine. It was a simple, useful part of daily life across the world. But today, its story is far more complicated. It is a story of medicine and mental health, of criminal law and personal freedom, of big business and sustainable farming. Understanding this plant means understanding a piece of our own history and our future. This journey is not a simple one. It travels from ancient fields to modern laboratories. It moves from royal apothecaries to parliamentary debates. The conversation around cannabis in the UK is louder than ever before. People are asking new questions. They want to know what is safe. They want to know what is legal. They want to know the difference between the parts of the plant that heal and the parts that can cause harm. This is not just a story about a plant. It is a story about how we as a society decide what is acceptable, what is dangerous, and what is misunderstood. It is a human story, filled with hope, fear, and a deep desire for clarity. As we stand here in 2025, the narrative is shifting once again. The simple green leaf has become a symbol for so many different things. For some, it represents a natural path to relief from chronic pain or anxiety. For others, it stands for a serious risk to mental health, especially for young people. And for a growing number, it represents an environmental solution, a way to build a more sustainable world. To make sense of it all, we must look at the facts. We must separate the myths from the science. This essay will guide you through that journey, step by step, in simple and clear terms. We will start at the very beginning, tracing the plant's long history in Britain. Then, we will explore how and why the laws changed so dramatically in the 20th century. We will break down the science, explaining the key components like THC and CBD in a way everyone can understand. We will look at what modern research tells us about the benefits and the risks. Finally, we will consider the exciting future of hemp as a green material, and how trusted guides like Weed Supermarket help people find accurate information. This is the unfolding story of cannabis in the UK, and it is a story that affects us all in ways we are only just beginning to grasp. Long before cannabis was a headline, it was a lifeline. For centuries, the plant we now debate was a common crop in the fields of Britain. But it was not grown for smoking, it was grown for strength. This version of the plant, known as hemp, is low in the stuff that makes you feel high. Its power was in its fibers. These fibers were incredibly tough and durable. Farmers would harvest the tall, sturdy stalks and process them into material. Ropes, canvas, textiles. The British Empire, with its vast navy, was quite literally held together by hemp. The sails that powered its ships across the oceans and the ropes that held its anchors firm were all made from this humble plant. This practical use was just one side of the coin. The plant also had a place in the medicine cabinets of the past. Physicians and herbalists, from ancient times through the Victorian era, recognized its potential. They used extracts from the cannabis plant, often in very small controlled amounts, to help people with a range of ailments. It was prescribed to ease pain, to calm nerves, to help those who could not sleep find rest. Queen Victoria herself was rumored to have been prescribed cannabis by her royal physician to alleviate menstrual cramps. It was not seen as a dangerous drug, but as one of many tools in a doctor's kit, used with care and knowledge. This widespread acceptance meant that cannabis was integrated into the economy and into daily life without much fuss. It was a raw material, a cash crop, a medicinal compound all in one. You could find it listed in old medical texts and pharmacopoeias, right alongside other plant-based remedies like opium from poppies, digitalis from foxgloves. People understood that plants could have powerful effects. They knew that the dose made the poison, and that these substances required respect and a skilled hand. The idea of banning the entire plant would have seemed strange to them, like banning all mushrooms because some are poisonous. The world of our ancestors was one where the cannabis plant had clear and distinct roles. The tall, fibrous hemp plant was for industry. The flowering, resinous variety was for medicine. There was no single, monolithic idea of cannabis. The 20th century brought with it a storm of change, and the cannabis plant was caught right in the middle of it. The shift in attitude did not begin in the UK, but across the Atlantic. In the United States during the 1930s, a powerful campaign began to demonize the plant. Driven by a mix of corporate interests, racial prejudice, and moral panic, cannabis, now often called by the more menacing name marijuana, was portrayed as a dangerous substance that led to madness and violence. This culminated in the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act in the US, which effectively began the era of federal prohibition. This wave of fear soon began to ripple across the globe, influencing laws far beyond American shores. The United Kingdom was not immune to this changing tide. While cannabis was not widely used recreationally at the time, international pressure and a growing sense of a global drug problem led to new regulations. The most significant moment came with the Misuse of Drugs Act of 1971. This landmark piece of legislation created the system of Class A, Class B, and C drugs that we still have today. Cannabis was placed into Class B, making its possession, cultivation, and supply a serious criminal offense. Suddenly, the plant that had once been a common medicine and industrial crop was now officially an illicit substance, a target for law enforcement. This legal shift coincided with the rise of the global war on drugs, a term popularized in the 1970s. This approach treated drug use not primarily as a health issue, but as a criminal one. The goal was to eliminate supply and punish users. This led to increased policing arrests and criminal records for thousands of people, many of them young. The policy had a profound impact on communities, creating a cycle of criminalization and stigma. For decades, the focus was almost entirely on enforcement. Scientific research into the potential medical benefits of cannabis slowed to a crawl, as the plant was now too difficult and controversial to study. This era of prohibition shaped public perception for generations. Cannabis became synonymous with crime and social decay in the minds of many. The long history of its use in medicine and industry was largely erased from the public consciousness. Instead, a narrative of danger and illegality took hold. The law drew a hard line, treating all parts of the plant and all types of use with the same broad brush. It was only decades later, as scientists began to look closer and patients began to speak out, that this simple, rigid view would begin to be challenged, opening the door to a more nuanced understanding of the plant. As science re-examined the cannabis plant, researchers discovered it wasn't a single substance. Instead, it's a complex chemical factory producing hundreds of compounds. These are called cannabinoids. Two have become the stars: THC and CBD. Understanding their difference is key. They are like siblings with different personalities. First, THC delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. But everyone says THC famous for causing the high. It interacts with the endocannabinoid system, regulates mood, appetite. Memory. THC stimulates receptors leading to euphoria. Altered senses, relaxation, but can also cause anxiety, paranoia, temporary memory impairment. THC is the psychoactive compound most laws control. Now CBD, cannabidiol. CBD is non-psychoactive. It won't make you high. It interacts with the endocannabinoid system. More subtly acts as a gentle regulator and helps balance the system studied for potential benefits. Reducing inflammation, pain, calming anxiety, helping certain types of epilepsy. Imagine the system as an orchestra. THC is a loud guest musician. Exciting but disruptive CBD is the conductor. Helps the orchestra play together. That's why you can buy CBD in UK shops if it contains virtually no THC. The law separates the mind-altering part from the non-mind-altering part. As the distinction between THC and CBD became clearer, the floodgates of research began to open, albeit slowly. Today, scientists are racing to understand what this complex plant can truly do for our health. The findings are promising, but they come with important warnings. On one hand, there is growing evidence for the medical use of cannabis. In the UK, specialist doctors can now prescribe cannabis-based medicines for a small number of conditions: rare forms of childhood epilepsy, nausea caused by chemotherapy, muscle stiffness in multiple sclerosis. For these patients, access to these medicines has been life-changing. Beyond these approved uses, many people are exploring CBD for everyday wellness. Studies are looking into its potential to help with chronic pain, anxiety disorders, insomnia. While many users report benefits, the scientific community remains cautious. Much of the evidence is still preliminary. Research is ongoing. We need more large-scale, high-quality clinical trials to confirm effectiveness and dosing. The path from a promising compound to a proven medicine is a long one. CBD is still very much on that journey. It is a story of hope grounded in scientific fact, but there is a darker side we cannot ignore. Especially with high THC cannabis and young people, numerous studies link heavy, long-term use of high-strength cannabis to higher risk of serious mental health problems, psychosis or schizophrenia. The risk is small for the general population but significant for a vulnerable minority. The human brain develops until 25, exposing it to strong psychoactive substances. Too early can have lasting consequences. The conversation must be balanced. Don't paint the plant as a miracle cure-all or a devilish poison. The reality is nuanced. The effects depend on many factors: what compounds it contains, how much is used, the age of the user, their biology and mental health history. A low-dose CBD oil for an adult with joint pain is a very different scenario from a teenager using high THC street cannabis regularly. While the debates over medicine and mental health continue to swirl, another part of the cannabis story is quietly taking root. This is the story of hemp's comeback, not as a drug, but as an environmental champion. As we have seen, hemp is a variety of the cannabis plant bred to have extremely low levels of THC. For centuries it was an industrial powerhouse. Today innovators are rediscovering its potential to build a greener world. This green renaissance positions hemp as a solution to fast fashion deforestation. One exciting use is textiles. Hemp fabric isn't new, it's ancient, but perfect for today. Hemp uses far less water than cotton. It grows densely and fast, outcompeting weeds, often needing few or no pesticides. The fabric is strong, breathable, durable. As consumers notice clothing's environmental cost, hemp becomes an eco-friendly alternative. Hemp's uses go beyond clothing. The woody core can be processed for building materials and paper. Hempcrete, hemp herds with lime, is lightweight, sustainable, and carbon negative. As hemp grows, it soaks up CO2. When used in buildings, that carbon stays locked away. Hemp paper can reduce tree use, helping preserve forests and ecosystems. It's a versatile raw material for a low-carbon future. Hemp helps farmers and soil. Deep roots prevent erosion and improve soil structure. It's a strong phytoremediation crop. It can clean contaminated land. Hemp has been used to absorb heavy metals and toxins. The story of cannabis in the UK is a twisting path. It winds through history, law, science, ethics. We have traveled from the age of hemp sales to the era of CBD oil. We have seen how a useful plant became a useful crop, became a criminalized drug, and is now, slowly, being re-examined. With so much information, misinformation, and strong opinions, it is easy to feel lost. How can an ordinary person make sense of it all? This is where the role of a clear, trusted guide becomes so important. A resource that does not sell you a product or a political agenda but simply offers you the facts in a way you can understand. This is the mission of a platform like Weed Supermarket. It exists not to encourage illegal activity, but to promote education and safety. In a world full of confusing jargon and conflicting claims, its purpose is to be a reliable source of information. It is a place where you can learn the fundamental difference between THC and CBD. You can read about the current laws in the UK so you know what is legal and what is not. It provides a bridge between scientific research and the questions people have in everyday life, translating dense studies into plain English. A trustworthy guide empowers you to make your own informed decisions. It does not tell you what to think. It gives you the tools to think for yourself. This means presenting a balanced view. It means talking openly about the potential therapeutic benefits that researchers are exploring, while also being honest and direct about the documented mental health risks associated with high THC cannabis, especially for young people. It is about fostering a culture of responsibility and knowledge, where people understand the substance they are dealing with, whether they are considering a legal CBD product for wellness or are concerned about a family member's use. As we look to the future, this need for clarity will only grow. The laws may continue to evolve. Science will undoubtedly reveal more about the plant's 500+ chemical compounds. New hemp-based industries will emerge. In this ever-changing landscape, the most powerful tool we have is knowledge. The story of cannabis is no longer simple, if it ever was. It is a complex human story full of promise and peril. By staying informed, listening to the experts, and demanding clear, evidence-based conversations, we can navigate this maze together, making choices that are safe, responsible, and right for ourselves and our society.